It is Saturday, June 13th, 2026, and this is the High Road, Logistics, and Leadership. I'm Dan Miller, and I view this market as the ultimate high-stakes chess match. And today, we're playing for the championship.
This is Buck Reynolds.
I'm Jules Sterling.
And I'm Elena Rossi. We have a great show for you today.
Look, yesterday we spent a lot of time on Volvo's driver out roadmap and that TIA emergency petition regarding negligent hiring liability. But today, the board is wide open. We've got a busy slate to unpack. Everything from the launch of the American Supply Chain Sovereignty Initiative to some serious regulatory pruning from the FMCSA. And a massive dip in energy prices that might just be a head fake.
So, let's kick it off with the big one. Here's the play. Secretary Sean Duffy was down at the Port of Los Angeles yesterday to launch the ASCSI, the American Supply Chain Sovereignty Initiative. We're talking about a high-visibility dashboard designed to link the ports, the railroads, and the mega retailers like Walmart into one unified system.
It's sort of a pivot into what we're calling the orchestration era, right?
Exactly. Look, we processed 52 million containers in 2025, but only 3 to 5% were physically inspected. That is a massive hole in the secondary. Duffy is calling on Congress to bake this into the NDAA. That's the National Defense Authorization Act, to protect our domestic freight data from foreign eyes.
I mean, the thing is, we already have plenty of data. My thing is a federal dashboard actually going to help a drayage driver find a chassis? Or is it just another way for a guy in a suit in D.C. to tell me I'm behind schedule in high definition?
Actually, Buck, it's worse than that. You see, the DOT is talking about role-based access for this data, but the moment you centralize the entire nation's shipping data into one hub, you've created a catastrophic single point of failure. If that hub goes down or gets hacked, the entire economy isn't just slowed down, it's frozen.
But look at the velocity play here, Elena. The initiative wants to pre-screen import containers using agentic AI. If we can verify a load before it even hits the dock, we can slash dwell time by 50%. It's like having a fast pass at the stadium. It's a touchdown for everyone involved.
Well, okay. For my retail accounts, this is the holy grail. They spend half their day just trying to find out where a box is. If the Terminal Industries report is right and we move towards sovereign data platforms, my account managers can finally stop being track and trace monkeys and start being strategic partners.
I mean, the deal is, you're trusting a Silicon driver to pre-screen a box for contraband or safety? A computer can't tell if a container was loaded poorly and is about to tip over the moment the crane picks it up.
And that's a legal nightmare waiting to happen. If the agent tech AI clears a load and it turns out to be a smuggling operation or a hazardous waste spill, who holds the liability? The carrier? The software developer? Or the DOT?
Look, we're already dealing with that mess from the TIA petition we talked about yesterday. The bottom line is we need technical certainty. We can't keep playing guess the container in a 100-mile-an-hour market.
I suppose. But sovereignty shouldn't come at the cost of physical risk management. All right, moving on. Let's talk about the great pruning. The FMCSA has finally finalized a rulemaking to strip away over 1,800 words of obsolete federal regulations.
Look at that. We're finally cutting the fat off the roster.
It's about time. I mean, here's the deal. Did you know they still required carriers to carry liquid-burning flares and spare fuses?
Wait, like real oil torches?
Yeah, like something out of a 1950s construction site. My thing is, I haven't seen an oil flare in 30 years, but a DOT inspector could technically fail your inspection if you didn't have them, even on a brand new 2026 rig with LED hazard triangles.
That's just, well, it's sort of ridiculous.
Actually, it's expensive. Carriers were getting thousands of violations for things like the rear impact guard label. You see, the law required a permanent manufacturer label on the bumper, but those labels wear off in the road spray. In 2024 alone, we saw nearly 25,000 violations for faded stickers.
Look, 25,000 violations? That's a fumble on the 5-yard line. It doesn't affect safety. It's just revenue gathering for the state. Pruning that is a massive win for margins.
It's a common sense reform.
Precisely, Buck. And Canada is doing the same thing. They just signed a memorandum to harmonize interprovincial trucking. No more patchwork weight limits between Ontario and Manitoba. But here's the reality check. As the rules get leaner, the crime gets smarter. CBP officers just seized over 1,600 pounds of marijuana at the Peace Bridge yesterday, hidden in a commercial shipment.
There it is. The efficiency makes it easier for the bad guys to hide in plain sight.
That's why we need that TSA pre-check for cargo. If we can separate the known good carriers from the outliers, we can focus the heavy-duty inspections where they actually matter. It's about playing smart, not just playing hard.
Okay, speaking of playing smart, I have to jump in here with a word for the folks who keep us on the air. Look, strategic logistics requires world-class engineering. This show is powered by the stack developed by Eric Christensen at Neural Network Media. Support the architect behind the code. Visit our Patreon at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia for a free trial and access to our daily briefing PDF. Honestly, if you want to know what's coming before it hits the headlines, this is the PDF you need on your tablet every morning. All right, let's talk numbers, because ArcBest and ABF Freight just threw a high hard one at the market. They've announced a 5.9% general rate increase effective June 22nd.
June 22nd? Look, that's a power move. LTL guys usually wait for the fall peak to hit the shippers with a GRI. Pulling this trigger in June, in what everyone says is a soft market, shows they've got some serious pricing power.
Their tonnage is actually up 5%, despite daily shipments being down. It means they're prioritizing a heavier freight mix, and my shippers are seeing spillover from the truckload side.
Because the Sonar National Truckload Index hit an all-time high of 383 per mile earlier this month. Shippers are so desperate for capacity that they're dumping truckload volume into the LTL networks just to keep boxes moving.
Oh, 383? Look, that's shattering the COVID-era records. We're in uncharted territory.
Actually, all-in costs are also 50% higher year over year. So while the revenue is booming, the margins are razor thin because of the fuel and insurance premiums.
And the fraud. I mean, you can't talk about these rates without talking about the double brokering scams. I saw we're finally rolling out one-time passcodes for pickups.
Long overdue. It's like having two-factor authentication for $1 million shipment. If the driver doesn't have the OTP, he doesn't hook the trailer.
The thing is...
Friction is the price of security.
I was gonna say, it's just another tech hurdle for a guy who's already stressed out. But if it stops the thieves, I guess I'll take it. Now, let's look at the pump, because we've got a bit of a Trump dip happening this morning. Brent crude is down to $88 a barrel. WTI's hovering around 86.
Look, $88? That's a huge relief compared to that $113 peak in April after the Iran escalations. President Trump is claiming a framework agreement with Tehran might be signed within days. Oh, the market is loving it. It's like a defense finding a way to stop the clock at the 2-minute warning.
Oh, brilliant. A peace deal announced via headline while the Iranian state media, Fars News, is already pushing back and saying no deal has been finalized?
Right? My thing is, headlines drive the market for a day. But the dark transit reality in the Strait of Hormuz is still real. 46 attacks since February, and 14 seafarers dead.
It's so tragic. I mean, you can't just headline away the fact that 20% of global oil and LNG goes through that choke point. And seafarers are literally being caught in the crossfire. Even if there's a deal, the geopolitical risk premium is going to be sticky.
Actually, it's legally sticky, too. Insurance carriers won't drop their premiums just because of a framework agreement. They need months of proven safety. You see, the relief at the pump is relative. Diesel's still at $5.45 a gallon, a 50% jump from 2025.
I mean, the thing is, the relief is always slower to hit the driver than the spike was. My drivers are still looking at 4-figure fill-ups and wondering if this peace deal is just another head fake.
Look, if the deal's real, it's a game changer. If it's a fumble, we're back to $110 oil by Tuesday. It's high-stakes gambling right now.
All right. Look, I want to pivot here because this really matters to me. Tomorrow kicks off National Technician Appreciation Week. And I want to say it loud. The men and women turning wrenches are the only reason we're not all walking to work. We talk about a 174,000 driver shortfall, but the 90,000 officer gap in maritime and the massive technician shortage in the shops is what's really going to kill us.
You're right, Buck. Look, technicians are the special teams of this industry. They don't always get the glory, but they're the ones who win the game in the fourth quarter.
Exactly.
Actually, I view it as a safety pillar. If I may, Robert Braswell at the TMC said it best. Maintenance is not a cost center. It's an insurance policy against catastrophe. We're seeing this massive shift toward total cost of ownership models, using AI-powered predictive maintenance to hit 94 or 96% fleet availability.
It's sort of a resilience pivot, right? We can't just keep throwing more trucks at the problem when we don't have enough people to fix them.
Look, the grand reopening of the Joplin 44 hub today is a great sign. It's about investment in the human infrastructure. But we've got to make the shop feel as high-tech as the cockpit, where the kids are never going to show up.
I mean, the thing is, tech doesn't replace the smell of a failing wheel bearing. It doesn't replace the guy who can hear an air leak from across the yard. We're so obsessed with agentic AI and autonomous rigs that we're forgetting that someone still has to change the steer tires after a blowout. 20,000 seafarers are stuck in the Persian Gulf right now, and we're wondering why there's a labor crisis? People are tired of the risk without the respect.
Bottom line, the industry has reached a structural inflection point. Success isn't about fleet size anymore. It's about workforce efficiency and data sovereignty. It's a whole new playbook.
Precisely. Complacency is the precursor to catastrophe. If we don't fix the labor gap today, all the cool tech in the world won't save us.
That does it for today's High Road. We've got the feds in the ports, the LTL guys and the money, and a big salute to the techs in the shops. It's a high-stakes market, but we're here to help you navigate it.
Later.
Bye.
See ya.
Keep the shiny side up. We'll be back on Monday.